Hi Flosstube, how are ya? It's Jeannie again, and I am here with video, I think, number 22. And my biggest news is that I have an FFO, and I wanted to show you that first. I went ahead and got my Irish Blessing piece framed. This is a gift from my brother, and I've had it done for a while, but just kind of took me a while to get my act together to get it to the framer. And I did have this one professionally framed. There's kind of a sweet story. We were at an art gallery that has a framing shop in it in a little town near where I live, and when we were there, we were chit-chatting with the lady who is the framer, and she had these beautiful prints in her frame shop, and we were just kind of chit-chatting with her. And I don't know how it came up, but we got to talking about losing our mom, because it was not only, it was, I can't say it was me and my brother, I think, and my daughter. But anyhow, we got to talking about that, and he had been admiring one of her prints, and when we looked around the art gallery, and then as we were leaving, she came out and she gave him this beautiful print, and just said, you know, I'd like to always give one of these away every year, and I would really like you to have this print. And so we were both so touched. I mean, we both puddled up and got teary-eyed and things, and it was just really a sweet story. And so I thought, you know, I am going to use her to frame some things. And so like I said, I finally got my act together and chose a frame, and this is how it came out, and I really love it. I think he's gonna love it too. I wanted kind of a distressed frame, and I don't know if you can see, but there's some almost like the same color as this kind of gold thread is also in the frame, besides the dark brown. So I thought it turned out really pretty, and she was really great at helping me figure out how to frame it, and she did a wonderful job. And if anybody is in California and they're looking for a good framer, let's see if I can get her. There is her information. So but anyway, she did a beautiful job on it, and she was really fast, and I think he's gonna love it. So anyway, so that is my story about that. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you about is, let me pull something into frame so you have something to look at, is that I also, my last video I was telling you about doing Arbitrary August, and I want you guys to know that Arbitrary August was a major fail. I made it, my plan, I was using the Tiny Decisions app, and my plan, I've had 10 whips on there, and my plan was to work for 3 days on each whip that it chose, and then I would have touched all of my whips. And so that was my plan, and I had set the wheel to non-repeating, or so I thought. And then I got, a few things happened throughout the month. I think I got, let's see, I worked on 1, 2, 3, 4 projects, 4 or 5 here, besides the mermaid, because I had left her off because I knew I was going to be working on her. And didn't think, you know, 10 whips doesn't seem like it would be that hard to keep track of, but when it wasn't, taking them off the wheel, and it was like choosing things for a second time, I got kind of frustrated with it, and I couldn't remember, and I didn't really want to try to go back through my Instagram. So anyway, so I thought, okay, I'm not gonna do much of this now. So so there was that. I also ended up having a really busy work month with some special education that we were doing for our nursing staff and other staff members in the hospital, and so I just worked a lot more. And then also I ended up, well, I'll tell you when I get to there, but I ended up not stitching as much even as I wanted to on my Mirabilia mermaid, because just she was in timeout for a little bit. So anywho, but let me show you what I did do. First of all, I did have a new start, and I decided I was in the mood to stitch something else on even weave. I wasn't going to start anything new till I finished something, but I wanted to do something else on even weave while I was kind of in my groove. and because I'm new to it, and I also wanted to have a small project to take with me, because we had gone a few places where I could have stitched in the car, or I could have stitched where we were, and I have one or two other projects on Even Weave, and they're big. So anyway, so I decided to go ahead and start the second one of this Lizzie Kate Seasons pattern. I decided to go ahead and do the autumn pattern, and so I did start that, and this is on the same fabric. This is a 28 count Monaco. I think it's Charles Craft, and it is in the color Mushroom. And so I went ahead and started this one. I said in my last video I wasn't that crazy about the colors for the summer one that I finished, but I do love them for fall. I am going to make a change though. I'm going to, instead of doing, it calls for making the crow and the scissors and like the handle of the pumpkin the dark blue color, and I mostly don't want my crow to be blue, so I'm going to pick out probably a dark gray and swap that out for dark gray. But the rest of the colors I'm going to keep the same, because I think they're nice and fallish. But that is where I am on this. So I started that just a few weeks ago, I guess. So I would have a little project. Then let's go to Arbitrary August though, and I'll show you what I did manage to get done. I started these were the projects that the wheel did choose before it started repeating, and so I did get a few stitches in on some of this. Most of these, you guys, were starts for Mania, so I'm not very far on them, but it did choose the girl that sat on the dragon, and this is the Joy Sunday kit, and so I got a little bit more done on her. Not very much. This is a big piece. And I started in the center, so, and this is actually, the part that I'm working on, this is actually her knee. So this is the little girl's knee, that's sitting on the dragon. So I didn't get very far, but, and I didn't, even though I earmarked 3 days to stitch on these, I didn't always stitch every day, so, because my work was so hectic. But anyways, but that's where I am on her. So I did get a few stitches in on her. So, but this one, you guys, I've decided I've got to put this one on a Q-snap or something. It's just too big. I've been stitching it in hand, but it's just too big to, I feel like I'm really having to wrangle it, so it's just a little bit too big. So I need to do that. Then it also, the wheel chose Dragon of the Deeps, and so I got a little bit done on Dragon of the Deeps. This one I started in the upper left corner, and so I finished out using that Kreinik border, and then got almost all the way done with the sand dollar. So this is the corner that I'm working on. I still have, I think, one or two more colors to put in to finish out the sand dollar, but so got a little bit more done on that one. Then it also chose the Dimensions ornament, and I have started the ornament that I started, and this was also a Mania start. All of these were actually, except for the next one, was this. This was the ornament that I started, this Santa. And so I got a little bit farther on Santa, not very, but a little bit. Got his cheek color in, and most of his face, and then the border of it, part of the border of his hat. So anyway, so a little bit done on this one. So, and this one, you guys, these are deceiving. This is full coverage, and because you might be thinking, well, that's a small project, Jeannie, why don't you just take that one with you as your travel project? And because it's full coverage and there's lots of colors, there's lots of counting. It's not as easy as that Lizzie Kate pattern to just do kind of on the fly. So anyway, but it did choose that, and I did work on it. The other one, this was not a Mania start, but this was another one that the wheel chose before it all went wrong. Was the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Spooky Sampler, and so I worked on that a little bit. I didn't do very much stitching, you guys, at all this month, but I did start on this block, and so I got the L done and the pumpkin and one of the lightning bolts, and started to work on the clouds. But so I'll probably try to get that finished up. But anyway, so that was where I got on that. And that was all really I got done in terms of Arbitrary August. And I was a little disappointed because I really wanted to follow through with that. But it just, like I said, had some technology problems, and then I had some work issues and that kind of thing. So, and speaking of failure, I said in my last video, I was really going to try to get, this is the Petite Mermaid, Nora Corbett Petite Mermaid I'm doing for my daughter. And I really want to try to get this finished in August, or, you know, by now. So I would have time to get it framed before her birthday that's at the end of this month. And it's not going to happen. I did get some work done on her, but just like I said, didn't have a lot of time to stitch, and with work, or didn't feel like stitching. And then I also had a bit of an issue with this, and then I was mad at it, so then I didn't feel like stitching on it for several days. So, but I did make some progress. Last time you saw her, I had almost this part of the tail done, so I did get some more. I did finish up that section of her tail. I mean, I still have her fluke or whatever to do down here. But then I did get quite a bit done really on her sash here. So I did make some headway, but my problem, you guys, with this one was that I've done her hair and her tail 2/2, or no, 2/1, because this is Ada. And then I decided to do her skin 1/1, and I also decided to do the sash 1/1, because even though the coverage isn't as good, the fabric is so pretty and it looks kind of gauzy, and I figured, and even if it sparkles, a little bit of those sparkles come through her skin, and which I think is okay. She's a magical creature. So anyway, so it does give it some texture, even though it's on Ada, and overall, I really like the way it came out, or it's coming out. But as I was working on, I was just going to town on the sash here, and I forgot that I was just doing one thread, and so I did several portions of stitches over 2, and then I didn't, or 2/1, and I didn't like it, because then it wasn't the same. You know, everything else was 1/1, and there were some that were 2/1, and so I had to pull it all out, and then I was mad that I had done that, and I had to pull it out. So so then she was in timeout for a little bit, just because I was mad at myself ultimately for not doing the, you know, for using too much thread. But anywho, that is where I am on her. So maybe for Christmas, I don't know, I even hate to say, but I'm going to just keep working on her. She's really going to be my focus on a finish, and but still working on her. And I do enjoy it when I work on it. It's just, you know, sometimes when, and the frustrating thing too is I wasn't even off on the counting. The counting was correct. It was just, you know, the thread bulk. So anyway, you know how that goes. All right, so that is Lucia Mia. So let's talk a little bit about haul. I had hoped to have another fully finished object to show you, because I started, but I did get some things for finishing. I actually started getting this little stitch ready to finish, and so I just haven't had a chance. I was going to try last month to get my sewing machine out and just leave it set up for a little bit, and that didn't happen with all my work stuff. But I did go ahead and get this ironed with Best Press, and I did get some interfacing on it, and this is what the back is going to be, and this is I'm going to finish this like a little pillow. And I did get some Fabri-Tac glue, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this all the way around and then make a snip in the middle and fill it. I did get some walnut shells, and I got some Fabri-Tac glue, and I got this little thing. In fact, let me grab it. I think it's nearby. I got this thing. This is called a purple thing, and it's for turning and getting the, you know, turning the corners and things like that. So I got that, and so I'm ready to sew this. I need to cut it down. I think I'm going to leave like a 1/2 inch border of the Ada on it, so I need to cut it down a little bit, but I do have this ironed and ready to go. And like I said, I bought a big thing of walnut shells, so I have that as well. And also in terms of finishing, I also at Michael's, I got some of this DIY table setting things. The idea, I think, you guys, with these is that they're supposed to be like place settings. And these are metal, so I figured I could use magnets on them, and they have an easel back on them. And I don't know what the dimensions are. I would say, oh, they're even probably a little bit bigger than 5 by 7, maybe 6 by 9. I'm not really sure. But the idea here is that you would use them, I think, as a, like I said, as a table setting or name places or menu or something like that. But I thought these would be cute for finishing. So especially I was thinking about those Lizzie Kate seasons might be cute on this. And they were on a really sale. I mean, there's 6 of them in here. Said it was $15, and you guys, I literally think I paid $4 or $5 for all 6 of these. So I got those. And then the other thing I got, this is the same idea, were these little chalkboards, and I thought these were just cute little wood frames. They're real wood. It's got the chalkboard on them, and I thought these would also be cute for finishing. These have like a jute hanger on them, but you guys, and these I got a while ago, probably this summer, but they have some other ones that are similar right now. And like I said, when they go on sale, they're really cheap. So again, 6 of them for like $4 or $5. So I thought those might work for finishing, and I figure I could paint these if I wanted to, whatever. So anyway, so hopefully I will get something done with those. And then I believe I have just a little bit of haul. I mentioned this in my last video, that I was waiting on this, and they actually sent me that dolphin kit instead of this one. And so this one did come in. This is the Victorian Charm Dimensions kit, and I think I'm going to turn mine into a haunted house. I want to put a ghost up here and maybe in here in the dark rooms, in the window and stuff. But I think it's fun. It's got the black cat on the porch. So anyway, I don't know when I'll do it, but I saw it and I liked it, so I went ahead and got it. And this comes with the navy blue Ada. It's a full kit, but I don't know if I'll do it on Ada or not. So I got that. I also got this book, and I'm blaming this on Sapphire Mountain Stitchery, I think is her name. She is a relatively new floss tuber, and I will put her name in the box below. I'll try to link it if I can. But she, like I said, she's got maybe 7 or 8 videos out, and she's also a designer, and she's done some really cute Disney and Florida type designs. But anyway, she was showing that she is stitching the Halloween version of this carousel horse, and these are Donna Cooler and Donna Cooler designs. And I got this on Amazon, and it was cheap. I want to say it was $2 or $3, and it's actually signed by one of the designers, which I thought was fun. It's just someone named Lori. So, but anyway, let me see if I can find you the, and so there's a carousel horse for every season, and this is the one that Sapphire Mountain Stitchery is stitching, and I fell in love with it, and I thought I have to have that pattern. I don't know when I'll do it, but this is the one she's stitching. And there's some other really pretty ones in here, but this was the main reason why I got the book. And these are still readily available. This one said it was in good condition. I wouldn't say good. I would have said this one was fair, but again, it was, I think it was $3 something. I don't know. It was cheap. So, so I went ahead and got that. And then I did purchase a few more patterns, just a few things. I was watching a gal, and I have to apologize, I cannot remember her name. Oh, you guys, I should make notes for this on the gal that I was watching, but I saw her working on some of these patterns, and she got them from Shakespeare's Peddler, so that's where I went and got them. So thank you, Shakespeare's Peddler. Really good service there. But she showed a couple of patterns and mentioned that's where she got them, and so I went on and got them as well. This isn't one of them. This one I got, this is the Gnomes in a Garden Robe by Bent Creek, and my daughter and her boyfriend have this little running joke about gnomes, and so I thought I want to stitch. I still haven't stitched anything for Sean, and I was going to do a Game of Thrones pattern for him, but because I was mad at the finale, now I don't want to stitch it. So I think I'm going to stitch him something with gnomes, and so I found this because I liked it, and I didn't think it would take too terribly long to do. This is one of the patterns that the gal, I'm so sorry, if I can find her again. I think it was the first time I'd watched her video, but she was stitching this, and I loved it as well. This is a La-Di-Da pattern, and called Something Wicked, and just loved it. So decided to get that. And then the other one that she was stitching, and this is an older pattern too by Chessie and Me, and this is called The Goblins Will Get You, or Get You. And my mom, you guys, she knew the poem Little Orphan Annie by heart, and she would recite it to us every so often. We would beg her to do it. And that's what this is from. And The Goblins Will Get You if you don't watch out. And I actually memorized it for a presentation I had to give in, I think it was grade school. And so when she showed this pattern, I was like, I have to have it. So sorry about the glare. But anyway, but it's a, like I said, it's a Chessie and Me, and she had it at Shakespeare's Peddler, and it's an older one. Can't remember what the date on it is. But anyway, and it does have some specialty stitches in it, which I haven't done before. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. And then I also decided to pick this up. She had some things on clearance, and I've never been really compelled to do a historical reproduction sampler, but the more I think they're beautiful, and the more I watch them. I watch a lot of Lisa on Kindred Stitcher, and she does beautiful, oh my gosh, beautiful samplers. But anyway, she had several samplers on clearance, and so I thought, you know, if there's one that speaks to me, I'm just going to go ahead and get it. And then if I feel like starting a sampler, then I can do it. So this one is Henrietta Binns 1837, and I liked a lot of things about this. I love the birds, I love the bricks in the house, I love the colors in it. There's all kinds of little critters in the grass there. So I was just like, yep, that one speaks to me. I'm just going to go ahead and get it. So anyway, so that is it for me, you guys, for this floss tube. I hope you all are getting lots of stitchy time, and I hope we got fall coming in around the corner, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful fall. Take care. Bye.